What's up, everybody? Checking the levels, making sure everything is right. Everybody can hear me. How's everybody doing? Make sure I got all the buttons on so you guys can hear and everything. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. It's Tua Tuesday, the beginning, the original, the OG Tuesday. Tua Tuesday is tonight and every Tuesday following a Miami Dolphins game. Unfortunately, this is the first time this year that we're following a Miami Dolphins loss with Tua Tuesday. That kind of sucks, but in any event, we're here. You guys know who I am. I'm Barry Cunningham. Does that button work? Boom, that's who I am. If you need to reach me on Twitter, you can reach me on Twitter there. And if you need to reach me by text, let me put this up real quick. You can go ahead and text me at that number, 786-947-7440, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So I hope everybody's doing well. One announcement. Real quick announcement. I got a guy, Trav Murray, who has come up with an amazing song about Tua that I'm going to debut in a video tomorrow. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that. Trav did a great job with this song. I guess his video drops on Friday. So we're going to help him out and put that song to some background so you guys can see it. So stay tuned for a video tomorrow where I'm going to be talking about that. Usually this time I talk about the Tua Maui thing. And the donations, but it's kind of died out. People have pretty much moved on. They've just moved on from it. So I'm not really sure why, but if you can, I put the donation link up so many times. If you guys want to see it one more time, I can do it. If you want me to, let me just do that. Just go to justgiving.com/page/Tua for Hawaii, and that's for helping out the people who live in Maui or lived in Maui before their homes got burnt to a crisp down to the dirt. So anyway, how you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I mean, tough loss, really tough loss. Some fans, however, and the video I posted yesterday, some fans weren't taking it quite so well.
I hate this team. I hate this team. There's children behind me. I'm in a suite. They might kick me out. I don't give a This team makes me want to die. Every year it's supposed to be different. It's supposed to be different. What do you mean? We're getting mollywopped. I'm sorry. I got kids in here. I'm a kid myself. I'm just a sorry loser. That's what I am.
I don't mean to make fun of anybody by putting that up there. Come on, man. It's a football game. The Dolphins are 3-1. They got stomped by the Buffalo Bills. They fell from grace. Well, from football grace. You know what I mean? When you fall from football grace doesn't necessarily mean you fall from grace. And so yesterday I put up a video, I think it was yesterday, and I'm like, chill, man. The sun still came up. Here it rained a little bit in South Florida. Not sure where you are, but life goes on. And you have to find some sort of peace. As I said in my video, hey, yeah, the game ended. I got done calling a game, went out, got some food with the wife, walked the dog, watched some movies, and then just enjoyed my evening. There's no rush that goes on. There's no drop in feeling. You know, some of us have this thing about us where we don't really have to. We don't need the external stimulant. We don't need to have the highs and ups and downs of the NFL or college football or anything else, because there's something that keeps us on an even keel. And I know I had a lot of people on Twitter say, F off, you don't understand, you're casual. I'm like, hey, if I'm a casual, if it means that I don't like lose my crap after a loss, then yeah, go ahead and call me a casual. But what are you going to say to the captain of the football team that you are exuberant about, who feels the exact same way? What would you say to Tua if you heard from him like, okay, yeah, we lost, but I'm good, and we'll see what happens next week? Because that's exactly what he said.
How does your faith help you move on from games like this?
Yeah, I think the best thing about being a believer of Jesus Christ, like to me, is that good Lord up above doesn't care whether you win a game, whether you lose a game. And for me, it's been a little tough having to play on Sundays.
Notice how he said that. How he said it's a little bit tough
having to
playing on a Sunday. So he's thinking to himself, "Hey man, yeah, I know we just got stomped by the Buffalo Bills. We just got completely stomped, 48-20. They basically hung 50 on us. So what are you dealing with? Hey man, it's just kind of tough playing on Sunday. I know I get paid $23 million to play this game. But you know what? It really is an interruption into what I really, really find my priority is I want to be in church on Sunday." That's an amazing statement from an NFL quarterback. I'm not sure how many fans heard that or even understood it, that this quarterback, the captain of the team, was like, yeah, it kind of sucks that I have to play football. It kind of sucks. I'd rather be in church. I'd rather be worshiping. Kind of puts things in perspective. Kind of puts everything in perspective. Maybe it's gambling. Maybe it's liquor. Maybe it's a combination of both. But you got people over here who have no vested interest whatsoever in this team, completely losing their minds. And you have the captain of the football team that just got stomped saying, yeah, I'd rather be in church.
That, not able to go to church. Really, a lot of it is having to watch church online after games.
And remember, this is immediately after the game. He's still in his uniform, hasn't even taken a shower yet. And he's talking about the things he would rather be doing than talking to the press and playing football on Sunday.
And things like that. But allowing me this platform, is, to me, is the best thing in the world, to be able to profess my faith, something that I firmly believe in, something that's been...
Notice what he said there. It's the best thing in the world. Not being the captain of a team, not being an NFL quarterback, not having all of the accolades and stats. Those aren't the best thing. The best thing for me is having this platform so I could profess my faith. I don't know how many people's heads exploded when they heard that. Maybe this is why Tua is hated by the media so much. But he walks in calmly after the game of getting beat by almost 30 points and says, I'd rather be in church. And this is basically a distraction. And, I'm happy for the platform because what I'd rather be doing is talking about this.
Foundationally instilled in me at a young age. And, when I'm out there, like, I even pray before I go out to series and whatnot. Like,
so now you're gonna have everybody this Sunday just checking out what's Tua doing, man. Oh, Tua's lips are moving. Tua's talking to himself. No, he's not talking to himself. He's praying before he goes back out and plays again.
I'm always praying. Like I'm on a sideline. Looks like I'm talking to myself, speaking in tongues. Like,
now that was huge. There are probably, I don't know how many people have no idea what he just said. I'm not going to get into it. It's way too deep of a topic. I mean, you got people up here who are Christians and they're believers, and then you got people who speak in tongues and they're way up there. And to explain that would just take more than the hour or so that we have here tonight, and probably doesn't interest a lot of people. But if it does, you might want to look that up and what that means and understand how deep how deep his faith runs.
Some people think, what, this guy knows how to speak in tongues? I mean, I grew up in a non-denominational Christian church my entire life. So, yeah, like that, I mean, it does a lot. And so having to remember scripture always keeps me encouraged in continuing to pray.
Having to remember scripture keeps me encouraged. Understand what he just said. Tua probably knows the Bible inside and out, can cite passages to you, can basically give you the book, chapter, and verse of different passages in the Bible. And Mike McDaniel is having a hard time getting the play into the quarterback. Just think about that. People have called Tua less than intelligent. This kid can probably recite Bible verses to you. Pretty smart. Now, this is the most important thing he says right here.
Press forward, especially in times like this.
Tua turn up was...
Especially in times like this. Hey, guys, we just got beat. We just got beat bad. We just got stomped in Buffalo. This is the worst of performances I could have ever imagined. What are you going to do? Well, like the old commercials used to say, and they still say, what are you going to do now that you've done all this? I'm going to Disney World. No. What are you going to do to it now that you just got stomped by the Buffalo Bills? No, I'm not going to worry about looking at film right now. Not going to worry about anything. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray. And basically, I bet you his first prayer is to thank God. Thank God for what occurred. Thank God for giving him the opportunity. Pray to God that hopefully I can play better. I understand that God doesn't keep, score. But, in my faith, he's probably saying, this is what I look to. And I'm sure there's a ton of people who don't want to hear it. All they want is the X's and O's. But this is your captain. This is the captain of the team you root for, that you bleed aqua and teal from. And there's no denying it. That's why I started with this. Because I don't know if people want to shun from it and not really see it. But how can you root for this team? How can you be a fan of the Miami Dolphins? I don't care how long you've been a fan, and not understand and embrace what this kid is all about. I've had a year of doing his videos. I've done tremendous amount of publications and postings about who this guy is internally. People called me a flip-flopper. I laughed because I knew what he was inside. I knew what kind of people he is. I know what kind of people his family is. I know what kind of people the Samoan culture is. Like I said, right back there is my Macau that my wife got me from Hawaii. And I think so many people missed it. And I know, just like with Tim Tebow, this just drives people crazy. It's like nails on the chalkboard. Why is he talking like this? Go back to talking about the Bills. You better do some touchdowns. Even talk about jiu-jitsu. Just talk about anything. What are you talking about this for? I can tell you why he talked about that. You know why he talked about that? Because somebody, and I don't know who it was up in Buffalo during that press conference, somebody, unlike the reporters here, unlike the crap of press conferences they do here, somebody had the balls to ask, hey man, how does your faith help you with a loss like this? Oh, thank you for asking. I never get those kind of questions at home. They're terrified that I might actually answer it. So they never even bother to ask that question. Not Barry Jackson, not Omar Kelly, not Chris Perkins, not David Ferronis. They would have never, ever come close to asking that guy that question. And I don't know who it was in Buffalo, but let me ask this question. And Tua's like, ooh, yeah, I like it. Let me get you some of this. Let me jump all in. Let me tell you about speaking in tongues. And I just could imagine heads exploding all over the place, and I loved it. So let's pause a second. That was kind of deep, and let's talk to what you guys say. Dan Pilarski. Hello, Dan. Even if we do exactly the same as last year, I'm still a fan and believe we can get to the championship game. Good. Terry Lynch, well said, but there are a few people here that will never understand. Nope. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people don't understand. He's talking to the people who understand and the people who might want to understand. Not here to just convince everybody. I mean, obviously, you see guys like CCRR here, and CCR takes it like a joke. I don't care if someone believes in Santa Claus, but this is not how a leader acts after getting his teeth kicked in, laughing on the sideline after the game, unacceptable. Why? What's he supposed to do? Cry? Throw his helmet? Kick his helmet? Act like the guys in the video and take out a bat and beat an inanimate object? Swear profusely in a video about how pissed he is? I think you want that kind of head on your quarterback. You know why? Because when he's down 48-20, he can still focus. His emotions aren't taking over. His emotions are still focused on the game. Tua would never trash Buffalo. Nope, he would never do it like some of the fans. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's crazy. Hey, Vipey, what's going on? Digging the shirt today. The wife got this shirt. I don't know where she got it from. I think it was Fanatics. Maybe not. Fanatics doesn't have big sizes, but she found it on one of the online sites. I'll see if I can't look that up for you. He knows that a football game isn't everything. Absolutely. But you know what? I got to put this up. Rick Serio says, is Fangio the answer? Yeah, I'm going to pause. I have a program ready, but I'm going to pause because my program was based upon Tua, but I'm going to answer this question because people asked me. I am sick and tired and disgusted over a coach who complains, I don't got the personnel. Man, if you don't have the personnel, number one, whose fault is that? You got hired in March or April. If you don't have the personnel, I'm sure there are probably 31 other teams who wish they had different personnel. I don't see them putting out press conferences and telling everybody, I don't really know how this is going to work this year because, I don't have the personnel. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that cop out. Are you telling me or telling all of us that the only way your defense works is if you have an all-star team playing defense? That's, to me, idiotic. That, to me, is just completely beyond the pale. I don't have the personnel. You think the Carolina Panthers are going to say they don't have the personnel? You think the New York Giants, who they're playing next week, are going to say, yeah, we could probably beat the Dolphins, but we just don't have the personnel? Or are they just going to do the best with what they have and work towards the future and see what happens? I am sick and tired of Vic Fangio complaining about not having the personnel. Here's why. When Vic Fangio signed that contract and decided to come to Miami, I'm sure during that period of time that they were courting him, he looked at the roster. He looked at some film. Who can I have do this? Who can I have do that? Guys, I need Jalen Ramsey. You need to go out and spend a shitload of money. Bring Jalen Ramsey in. Okay, Chris Greer goes and gets Jalen Ramsey. What do you need next? Linebackers suck. I need David Long. All right, we're going to get you David Long. And they brought in David Long. And when you draft, I want you to draft this kid Cam Smith because I think he'll be good in a year or two. He's not going to be someone who can play right now, but bring him in. Okay, we'll draft Cam Smith. You had input. You knew where you were before you signed the contract. You understood where you were the day you went to the first OTA meeting. Practice. There's no surprises. You have what you had when you got signed, in addition to the additions that you brought on. But complaining that you don't have the people is a cop-out. It's an absolute cop-out. I can't say it any better than that. I see people on Twitter going, oh, give Fangio a chance. What chance? We're 4 games in. We're a quarter away into the season. If you think much is going to change without there being some big trade or Jalen Ramsey coming in and feeling better and being able to participate. There's nothing that's going to change. This is the scheme. This is what he runs. He's making excuses. Oh, yeah, they were 3-0 and things were looking good. And I remember I posted and people got pissed at me and I said, you played against a bunch of scrub teams. You played against the Chargers who were crap. You played against the Patriots who were crap. And everything was fine. You were 3-0. The Broncos, oh, you did great. And then you run up against a team that's got something and you got embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed. And then you left Kader Kohou, who is not the best cornerback in the world, but you left him out on an island all game long. You didn't flip Xavier Howard onto Diggs. You left that kid out there to dry. Why? Did anyone at the press conference ask him, hey, Vic, why didn't you put Xavier Howard on Stephon Diggs? Of course not. They don't ask those kind of questions. But why? What was your adjustment? We all watched the game. What did you do different at halftime? Hey, man, we got to go into the locker room. We got to figure out what we can do, make our halftime adjustments. All right, so Kader, we're not going to make any with you. We're going to keep you out there all by yourself. Okay, I'll do my best. My best? Yeah, do your best. Okay. You're 4 games in. Quarter of the season's done. Not much, if anything, is going to change. This is the scheme he runs. He runs at bend or don't break stuff, and he hopes it's going to work, and when it doesn't work, you saw what happened. I'm not even talking about Mike McDaniel on the offensive side. You saw the defense. They couldn't stop the run. Josh Allen destroyed him. But you know what? Everybody will forget it and be happy. Everyone, for the next 2 weeks, everyone will be happy because we're back to playing the cupcakes. You're playing a Giants team that's 1-3, and then you got the Carolina Panthers that are 0-4. So you got a collective 1-7 where you can stomp the yard and put up 45 points per game again, and everybody will forget what has happened against Buffalo. Everyone will start talking about MVPs and championships all over again because you get to stomp on the shitty teams. And that's what's going to happen. Mark my words. The Dolphins are probably going to just whoop the crap out of the Giants, especially after seeing what the Seahawks did. They're going to probably whoop the crap out of Bryce Young and the Panthers. I mean, they're 0-4 and they got a rookie quarterback. I would hope so. And everyone that you see on Twitter and on YouTube is going to be saying they're playing fantastic. This is what we thought we could be. They're right back to what everyone knew this team could be. And then you got to play the Philadelphia friggin' Eagles. Yeah. So you're going to have 2 weeks of press clippings. Vic Fangio is going to look like a brainchild out there. And then you got the Philadelphia Eagles for another big test. So you're going to see. You're going to see. They got 3 weeks to get ready for the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 weeks. You can't overlook anybody. You got to show up. The Giants are going to be pissed because of what happened last night. But any given Sunday, Bryce Young could get lucky. Who knows? But you got 2 weeks against 2 more cupcakes. Make the fan base feel good all over again. Make yourself feel good all over again, Vic Fangio. And then you got the Philadelphia Eagles, who have arguably the best offensive line in football. You tell me, I'll look in the comments, you tell me how that defensive line of Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer are going to stop the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles. If I were Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer, I would already be having nightmares. You played against the Buffalo Bills. They ran the ball 29 times. I've got these stats in my mind because I did a video on them. They ran the ball 29 times. Zach Sealer had 4 tackles. Christian Wilkins had 2. Out of 29 rushing attempts, the big guys up front had 6 combined tackles. That's it. That was against the Buffalo Bills. They weren't a Super Bowl team last year. You got the best offensive line in the league coming up against you in 3 weeks, and they got that unbelievable tush-push thing that they do on short yardage that it's just going to be frightening. So, let me look at some of the stuff here. Wilkins and the Seal, I can't put that up there. That's here. Terry Lynch says, that's the only time fans love Miami is when we play losers. I want to see this team as well. I'm sure you guys do. Want to see this team progress to the playoffs and go deep in the playoffs. And I said it after they won those 3 games against the Broncos, Chargers, and Patriots, and I got flamed for it. Barry, why are you bringing that up? They're doing fantastic. Well, I mean, I saw Mike Tyson beat the crap out of some of these guys when he started off. They were lasting maybe 30 seconds in the round. Didn't mean much when he got up against somebody who was ready to punch his face out. Like, what's the saying he has? Everything is good until someone punches you in the mouth. Well, the Buffalo Bills just punched the Miami Dolphins square in the mouth, and they had no answer. No answer whatsoever. Wilkins and you guys are bad. Oh yeah, and then you get this kind of comment from I got. You can only play who's on the schedule. What does that even mean, bro? What does that mean? You can only play who's on the schedule. Of course, you only play who's on the schedule. However, you ever hear the other cliche? You play to the level of your opponent. I mean, you either rise to the occasion or you end up lowering yourself to the occasion, and you're playing against these cupcakes and making your stats look great. And that's fine and dandy. They're on the schedule. You don't have any choice on who's on the schedule. Doesn't mean you're going to go deep into the playoffs because you score 45 points a game against cupcakes. And that's where the problem is. And mark my words here too. You're not going to hear nearly as much press about the Miami Dolphins in the next 2 weeks. Until the week running up to the Philadelphia Eagles, you won't hear much. They've already been relegated to a lower status based on the performance with the Buffalo Bills game. I mean, I saw what was going around today, I guess, on Good Morning Football. There was, what's his name, Kyle, and he was talking a bunch of crap, and people were freaking out about it. You're only as good as your last game. As I've said many times about Tua, respect when earned, criticism when deserved. Now, Tua played his heart out in the Buffalo Bills game. Yeah, he got pummeled, got sacked a couple times, had to run out of the pocket, got pressured a lot. He played his heart out. I didn't see any quit in Tua. You won't hear me say anything negative about Tua. Even though he threw the interception, even though he had a couple bad throws, it wasn't on him. The offensive line was a sieve. I mean, think about Danny Dimes yesterday. Did you guys see Danny Dimes playing against the Seahawks? I don't know how you could possibly say anything really negative about Danny Dimes. He got sacked 11 times. It was like, oh my God, every time I go back to pass, here comes another wave of people. Tua did the best he could in the conditions he was playing in. Offensive line couldn't block anybody. He and Devon Achane, I thought, played very well. And obviously, as I said in my other video, Andrew Van Ginkel played very well. Tua did what he could. I mean, he kept playing till the end. I don't know why Mike McDaniel let him stay in that long. I thought that was dangerous, maybe a little careless. But he kept fighting. He didn't give up. He kept trying to make stuff happen. Every time, you think to yourself, he's going to take off and run, and you hold your face and go, oh no, hope he's okay. He's going to get sacked. He's going to get hit. He got back up, man. He got back up every single time, and he kept playing hard. Got no problems with Tua in that regard. What's up, Truly? I owe you an email. New defensive coordinator or not, I don't feel Fangio has the potential to enlighten this defense without pressure on the rush. And the bend and don't break is actually breaking. Broke a lot. And bend and don't break, I think, works really good when you have the players. But when that field keeps getting shorter and shorter, and you keep bending, there's not much room. It's going to break. Jay says, could we trade for Stafford in the offseason? Tua hasn't done bad. Obviously, he did very well in the 3 cupcake games that he played, and he fought against the Buffalo Bills. He was right there. 1 interception, a couple bad throws that weren't his fault, but he was right there. the truth hurts, and some fans don't want to hear the truth. Yeah, I know. I hear from them all the time. Why are you talking? It's almost like they say, why are you talking the truth? Why are you talking like this? Because I'm looking at a game. I see what's in front of me. I don't have any money on the game. I can just call it as it is. So let me go to this next video here. And this is the morning after. This is Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, and Get Up with Greeny. And they're talking about what Buffalo did. And so in order to do what Buffalo did, you have to understand you have to have the personnel available to do it. So are the Giants going to be able to do it? I doubt it. Are the Panthers going to be able to do it? I doubt it. Because it only works if you have the personnel to do it. If you can get that much pressure from your front defensive four and don't have to blitz that much, then, man, that gives you 6 and 7 guys back there at some time to go ahead and cover these. They shut Tyreek down completely. And Dan Orlovsky is going to do a good job of explaining if you guys have not seen this. Check this out.
Stopped by the chill in Western New York. That was the Buffalo Bills defense.
And the interception kind of tells this story. I'm just going to play it for everybody at home full speed so they get a great understanding of what stood out. For me, RC, it was they never overreacted to some of the motions, right, and they never listened to.
And look at, if you look at that, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see there's really nobody open on that play. I don't know how they just were able to blanket it. Well, I do know now. They were able to do it because they were able to drop back so many people.
To Tua's eyes. So, or Tua's eyes, excuse me. So one of the things that Miami has done a great job of this year is that inside-out motion. They are going to motion.
And remember, Tua was getting the ball off in 1.9 seconds and 2 seconds. And even I said, wow, if you can get the ball off in 2 seconds, you're not going to get hit. You're not going to have a problem. Well, Buffalo sat down and said, well, we see he's trying to get the ball off in 2 seconds. We need to stop that.
That guy from inside out and try to horizontally stretch the defense. Now, when they get into that too high shell, Tua's going to try to use his eyes to affect that safety and that middle linebacker. He's as good as anybody right now in the NFL doing that.
So this is the first thing. The reason that they are not affected by the motion is because we're going 4-on-3 on the top, and we're going to be late to the short. The same thing here. We're going 3-on-2 to the bottom, and we're going to be late to the short. So
now, I know he's talking a lot of football jargon, and I don't expect you guys to know that. But basically, in layman's terms, what he is saying is, number one, we know where Tua wants to go. We've seen his eyes and how he keys on things. We need to take away the first read, so he has to go to the second read. And then we want to make him think that the second read is open so that it causes even more pressure for him to throw the ball.
Even though Tua's eyes can lie to you, we are telling him where to go with it.
Now, you got Tyreek Hill in the slot right here, okay? And this is what Tua does so good. He's catching this snap, and he is staring that way.
Now, notice the word he just used there. He used the word staring. That's not a word you want to hear from somebody talking about your quarterback. Tua is staring down this wide receiver. He's looking to see where Tyreek is. And they're like, we're going to make sure Tyreek isn't open.
Try to get my guy the football because I'm trying to get that middle linebacker to just drift that way to open up this seam down the middle of the field to my tight end.
But see, nobody has to move because they've already spent.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Why is this happening right here?
Well,
why is Matt Milano doing that?
Because Matt Milano knows this about Tua Tagovailoa. Marcus Spears always said.
Now, a bunch of people had asked me and said, hey, listen, he's holding Tyreek. No, he's not holding Tyreek. You can't touch the receiver within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. He's just getting in his way. At this point, his idea is, let me just get in front of Tyreek. Let me impede his progress, and that way Tua's not getting that 2.2 seconds. I just need to slow him down just enough where the big guys up front can come after him.
That his superpower is accuracy. To me, it's belief. It's belief in what he's seen throughout the week. He knows if he can get Tyreek right now, he has a run and catch. But if somebody's being aggressive here, if this backer has been drawn to my eyes, I should be able to move up top right now. And the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott played off of that.
That's big time because
And that's exactly it. For the first 3 weeks of the season, that play was almost always open. He knew that if Tyreek took off, he did an in break, hit the ball, it's going to be wide open. Then when it wasn't open, it's like, oh, So let me look at this guy.
That seam's trying to get thrown. I want everyone at home to pay attention to that middle linebacker because Tua, again, is staring down here, and he never moves. That is...
Now, what that means, understand, because I know these guys are breaking this play down, but I just want to make you guys understand what the Buffalo Bills did. He just said that linebacker never moved. He knew that Matt Milano was taking Tyreek out of the play. I don't even need to look over there. I just have to make sure I'm ready in case somebody breaks in front of me or make Tua throw the ball over me.
Very rare this year to be playing zone defense.
He not only never moved, Dan, he never looked at him.
Yeah.
Never even looked down. He knew that Matt Milano was going to basically shadow Tyreek, and that he also had to have the confidence that his four guys up front, because Matt Milano wasn't going to stay with Tyreek the entire time, just enough to get those guys coming after Tua and at the same time make Tua think the other guy was open.
You're right. You're right.
They aren't trying to beat Tua Tagovailoa. They're trying to beat Tua's skill players. And that
Bingo. That's what a lot of people missed. I can't beat Tua's accuracy. I know Tua is so accurate as a quarterback. I can't beat him. I'm going to beat these other guys. I'm going to beat these guys who aren't expecting, who've been running free for the last 3 weeks, and I'm going to beat them and make life all day long hard on them.
That's what they're doing by being locked into what they're supposed to do.
Now look, Tua gets to the top, and he goes from staring down here and in one hitch coming up top and believing that while he's staring there, that linebacker is going to fly that way and he's going to be able to wrap that seam. And this ball's going to sail. It's not because Tua misses the throw. It's because Tua feels that color from that middle linebacker. And so he's trying to place that ball over the top and ends up sailing to that safety. The thing that's
And they knew that was going to occur because there's a safety just waiting, playing center field. And if you tried to get it over the backer, I'm going to be sitting here waiting for the interception.
What's been great about Tua Tagovailoa the entire season is that belief, but things have come open. If you look at what Sean McDermott was able to do, he said no single high. We're not going to allow you to run through zones.
Why?
Because he couldn't run.
Why no single high?
Because single high allows everything to come into Tua's line of vision. Okay. And you have to take something. You have to grab something. You have to hold on to something. Whereas when you're in split safety defense, you always know you have a halo.
It's so interesting, and I hope everyone is learning as much from this as we do. And the one thing I keep going back to, and Rex says it all the time, you can't do any of that if you're not just rushing your four guys.
Yeah, sure.
You don't have to blame.
Yeah, you got to have the personnel to play that kind of a defense. And so I don't know if Giants have the personnel. I doubt the Panthers have it. I know the Philadelphia Eagles have it. And that's going to be a complete different. But the biggest question, Monday morning quarterbacking and people looking at these films and breaking things down, the biggest question is why didn't the offensive genius of Mike McDaniel notice this and say, we're going to do something different now? That's what I don't have an answer for. Maybe some of you guys do, but you went into halftime, you didn't adjust, and they just kept running the same defense. And I don't know why. I don't know why you didn't run. People had said, why aren't you running screen passes? Why aren't you hitting Achane out in the flat? Let him do something. Why did you abandon so much of your playbook when they shut that other stuff down? That's what's scary, because if the Dolphins are a one-trick pony, if you've built so much of your offense around this motion and this jet motion and getting Tyreek out in space and they take that away from you, are you telling all of us here, are you saying that if they take that away from you, if they take away your jet motion, wheel routes, and all that kind of stuff, that you're done? That's scary, because that's what happened against the Bills. The offensive line couldn't open up any holes to speak of. Achane still got 100 and something, 101 or 102 yards on 8 carries. Why didn't you just keep running with him? Why didn't you let Achane just gash these guys and say, forget it? We're just going to turn this into a run. If you guys are going to back up and do this, let's go ahead and make the run work. Can't answer that question. Don't know why Mike McDaniel didn't change up. It doesn't make any sense to me, because otherwise you're saying, this is my offense. This is what I have to do. This is how I'm going to protect Tua. Because the other thing is, there ain't no way in hell Tua's going to withstand that kind of punishment for the next 14 weeks, 13 weeks. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. He must know that I got to run this offense, this quick hit offense, because I can't put Tua in that position week after week after week. It's suicide. It's absolutely crazy. Now, again, probably don't have to worry about it against the Giants. Probably don't have to worry about it against the Carolina Panthers. But you got the Eagles, you got the Chiefs, and oh my God, you got the Cowboys with Micah Parsons. You got the Bills again. You got the Jets twice. The Jets may not be able to score, but they have a hell of a defense. So I don't know why he didn't change up his offense, and I hope he does. McDaniel still thinks, let me go for a couple of comments. McDaniel still thinks anyone can learn center overnight. That's not genius. No, I mean, again, he's playing with the cards dealt to him. Connor Williams is hurt. Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And I don't know if all you guys have heard, but Teron Armstead is not playing again this weekend. No Teron Armstead. So the left tackle position is going to have to be Kendall Lamb. So you can't move him over and have him play center. You're going to have to probably, if Connor Williams is back, put Eichenberg. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. No Teron Armstead this Sunday. Luckily, it's not the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's hope he heals enough to be back for them. Tom, what's going on, buddy? McDaniel was successful at San Francisco. Unfortunately, the Dolphins aren't San Francisco. Personnel dictates this kind of stuff. Carl Jones, where'd that go? I like what Carl Jones says here. Carl Jones said we should have run the ball more, trust our running backs. I know the offensive line was having trouble, but somehow it just wasn't speed that got Achane 100-plus yards, 12.6 yards per carry. I mean, so maybe they should have. Let's see, what we go here. That's the best point you could make. I'm not here. He's out for. Ooh, wait a minute. Who's out for weeks? Did I miss something? Might be who's out for weeks. Teron's not out for weeks, is he? Oh no! Tell me he's not out for weeks. I thought he was going to be back for at least the Carolina game. Book it right now. If he's not playing against Philadelphia, there's going to be hell to pay up front. If you guys haven't looked ahead to the Philadelphia defense, understand Jalen Carter, absolute beast. Rookie just tearing up the league. Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox. Oh my God. Tell me Teron Armstead's going to be playing against that. Oh, goodness. Vipey, that's news I didn't hear. So you're saying that Teron Armstead is out for a few weeks? Whew, that's terrified. I can't even imagine it. That stunned me. That absolutely stunned me. I got game. Where'd your thing go? I just wanted to get to that. Oh, so I got game says. Let me click on it here. Come on, click. Wrong one. Oh boy, somebody said that. Sam says 4 weeks for Armstead. 4 weeks. That means he's going to miss the Philadelphia game, which means pray for Tua. And Tua's going to be speaking in tongues on the sideline, but pray for Tua if he's going to be out for 4 weeks. Connor Williams is a bigger loss than Armstead. Is he coming back this week? I haven't heard anything from him yet. Not sure if he said. Vipey, I'll go ahead and have to download that presser if he said that Teron Armstead is out for that long. Whew, wow. Good news is that about Philadelphia, with their offensive line and running game, Tua won't be out there much. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Man, that's scary. Jermaine, you just confirmed what Vipey said and said Teron Armstead is out for weeks. I didn't hear that. Oh boy. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Wow. I can't even. Yeah, I pray for Tua now. Okay, thank you for your analogy. I watched one this morning on the defense that got me looking at my own life more seriously. Great, humble, and honest assessment again. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I'm seeing some people say it's week to week. Oh, Connor's week to week. Oh, how about Chubbs? Chubbs who? I think you guys, I know this is about Tua Tuesday, but for Chubbs, at this point, I think Chubbs should be sitting the bench. If Jalen Phillips is ready to play, how about you just put AVG on one side and put Jalen Phillips on the other, and then let Chubb be the third guy in on the rotation? He did absolutely nothing. He was getting pushed around by the Bills' offensive line. It was pathetic. I mean, this guy's getting paid a boatload of money. You brought him in because I don't know why they brought him in. They thought he would be a sack master, but he's done nothing. But then again, Danny Dimes got sacked 11 times. So put it this way, if the Dolphins front four don't get 2 or 3 sacks, something's really wrong. Vipey said he just rewatched it again. Coach said I would say weeks, not days for Armstead. That's a huge blow. Huge blow. Armstead made a glass. Yeah, there's a guy you can pretty much count on won't be here next year. Just go ahead and scratch him. Whether of his own accord or Chris Greer's accord, I don't think we see Armstead back next year. I don't think you can trade him. I I think who's going to want him? They see how often he's not there. He's awesome when he's in the game, but wow, he's out. All right, so now I want to play for you a video where Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky, this is where you're going to begin seeing the switch in the media, where people are going to be talking about, hey, maybe the Miami Dolphins aren't there yet. Maybe we gave them too much credit early in the season. I know they're talking heads, but these guys know football, and you just saw them breaking down things. And when you get beat by 30 points by your nemesis, it really makes people reassess.
The thing they needed to do on the back end to make Tua Tagovailoa pump the football and not be able to just follow his reads and progressions, which he...
Yeah, okay, so again, Tua is a quick draw artist. He's a trigger man. He's a rifleman. He's going to get that ball out in 2 seconds. And when he can't, now what do? I got to look somewhere else. And these guys are watching my eyes.
He's used to.
I thought they did a great job of not overreacting to the motion that we've kind of talked about with Miami's offense. And then you talk about not giving him numbers.
That stunned me when he just said that. When I watched this, I said, I got to put this up for you guys. When they said not react to the motion. Every other team sees Tyreek come flying across the line of scrimmage and turn around and go back the other way. And like, what are we going to do about Tyreek? And they're like, we're not even going to react to him. Whichever side of the field he ends up going, the linebacker on that side is going to interrupt him, going to impede him, going to make his life hell for the duration of the afternoon. And we're just going to focus on Tua's second read. So as a defensive coordinator, I'm like, if I can take away his first read, it's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to give me extra time to get to him, because that's a 2.2 seconds is that first read. But if I take away the first read and make him look and turn and look for his second read, that's giving my horses up front time to get to him. That's the 2 things that are kind of scary with what happened against the Bills.
For one, essentially, like they didn't listen to his eyes, thinking, well, we know you're looking over there for a reason, not to throw the ball. You actually want to throw it away from where you're looking.
Now, see, what he just clued in on was something that people now know. They've put that out there. Tua is great at the no-look pass. The no-look pass to Achane. You remember that, don't you? You remember when he did that shovel pass and he did the no-look thing? And now they're like, not worried about Tua's eyes. We know what he's going to do. We know what he's going to do. If I take away the first read, I know he's going to come back over here. I don't even have to look at his eyes anymore. The entire offense at this point has been telegraphed. That's the scariest thing as an offensive coordinator, or in our case, Mike McDaniel being the head coach, is that people now know your offense to the point where they're going to ignore certain things. Don't look at Tua's eyes. Know where he's going to go. That's kind of scary.
It was a masterclass by Sean McDermott and the defense.
Line of scrimmage was phenomenal. If you think about last week when Belichick was trying to take those first reads away by giving some simulated pressure.
They've been so great at getting the ball into his hands. Is there something that they did defensively that did that to allow the rush to get home?
No, absolutely. They did it, but they moved in and out of coverage, and they didn't react to Tua Tagovailoa.
Now, you're hearing a former quarterback and a former defensive back tell you what that defense was. Not some guy on YouTube, not some guy on Twitter. You're going to hear this more and more often throughout the next couple weeks, unless Mike McDaniel can change something, which is going to be very hard because that's what Tua does. Tua is a master. He even says in the video I did last Tua Tuesday, he goes, I'm really good at looking people off. I know how to make them think I'm going to throw here, but I'm actually going to come back here. Oh, we watched that video, Tua. Then we went back and watched your game films, and we're like, yeah, you're right. You look people off. And then you come back. Now we know that. Now we know not to pay attention to your eyes. You can only fool me if I'm paying attention to your eyes. If I know you're looking here, but you're actually coming back over here, don't follow Tua's eyes. Defend those guys. That's a completely different thing that Mike McDaniel is going to have to deal with. They're no longer going to be keying on Tua's eyes, where he has admitted in public, I'm really good at looking people off. So defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills said, ignore him. Don't look at his eyes. Look at these guys. Play these guys. Tyreek's going to tell you where he's going. You can't keep up with him. Just stop him from getting there. If you stop him, this guy is going to be Tua's next shot, and don't even look to see what he's doing. That Buffalo Bills middle linebacker, time and time again, you can watch the All-22, they knew the jet motion comes across. Hey, listen, stuff Tyreek, don't let him have it. And then be ready for the other guy, his second read, and don't worry about looking him off because we already know his eyes don't matter. How do you change something so elementary to the offense in a week, which is what Mike McDaniel is now going to have to do?
And if you watch the way they play, they're a simple offense, which most great offenses are, and they're getting very similar to what Tyreek and the Kansas City Chiefs were, where if you can locate Tyreek, you can kind of get a sense of what the route combos will be.
If you can locate Tyreek, if you can understand what he's doing, you know what the rest of the offense is going to happen. Now, what we're going to have to see, in case you guys are wondering, well, Barry, what's the hope here? The hope here is now Tua has to take it to the next level. They just mentioned Kansas City and how Kansas City was able to combat that. Kansas City was able to combat it with two things: a fantastic tight end, which the Dolphins don't have, and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was able to make plays and counter what you were doing on the field. And if you noticed against the Jets, it seems like some people are now catching up to him. Defensive coordinators aren't stupid. They're going to catch up with what you're doing, and they're going to try their best to make sure that your athleticism doesn't beat them. Now Tua is going to have to amp up his athleticism. He's going to have to do things people don't expect. He is going to be out there a little bit more orchestrating what's going on the field. He's not going to be able to hit that first read. It worked fantastic the first 3 games, getting out 1.9, 2.2 seconds. Now you're going to have to go back to being somewhat of a classic quarterback and making shit happen. Good 2 weeks to practice. You got 2 of the worst teams in the NFL coming up. It's a great 2 weeks to practice changing how you do things. I can tell you right now, and mark my words, it's 7:57 on October 3rd. If Mike McDaniel keeps running that jet motion offense and runs up 45 points on the Giants and 45 points on the Carolina Panthers and tries that crap with the Eagles, they're going to get beat. You might as well practice now something different. Good defensive coordinators with quality personnel. That's the big thing. Good defensive coordinators with quality personnel have figured out this offense. That's the truth. And I'm not trying to denigrate anybody. That's the truth. You're not going to go deeper into the playoffs anymore with the offense that scored 70 points on the Broncos. Ain't gonna happen. I guarantee you that right after they scored 70 points, people were in offices downloading that tape going, we can't let this happen. I don't know what Denver was doing, but we can't let this happen. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We can see Tua's trying to get rid of the ball in 2.2 seconds. We have to delay his release. We think we can penetrate their offense with our front four. We got to impede Tua. Jalen Waddle, who? You pretty much disappeared. You caught one tip drill pass. So last game, they took away both wide receivers. Not one. They took away Tyreek and Waddle. Just something for you to remember. Ty Bless says, I don't think they figured out the offense. We couldn't run our true offense without Connor Williams. What? You think the offense, you think the jet motion pass plays didn't work because of Connor Williams? Ooh, wow. Bill Belichick absolutely did stop it. They only scored 24 points. The reason they couldn't do anything else is because they have a crappy offense and they couldn't score more points. But he definitely slowed down the Dolphins' offense. I'm not sure what game you're watching. Sometimes I beat my head. I'm like, guys, I called it. We were watching the game together, and I'm like, we were all here. We saw him stop the offense. They couldn't do what they wanted. Do you know how many yards? I'm not going to go there. All right. What to say? They were dropping their linebackers, and we couldn't run without Connor Williams. What does dropping your linebackers have to do with stopping a pass play? If they dropped their linebackers, Devon Achane had 101 yards. He had 8 carries for 101 yards. He was able to run. McDaniel didn't keep calling it. But he got, how do you explain that? How did Achane get 12.6 yards per carry? Let's see here. We don't have the luxury to coach. Yeah, we don't have the luxury to coach up a new center. That's if anybody's out there. Who's out there? I don't know who else is out there. Let's see. There was something here I wanted to show you. Joe Lozano. This is pretty cool. Joe Lozano said they dropped out of the top 5 on Stephen A's list. Whatever that matters. Like I said, they're going to stop talking about the Dolphins. Captain Swole, I think you're smiling at Ty Bless saying, yeah, Connor Williams is going to make a difference. No. The only thing he'd make a difference if hopefully he makes the snaps. But other than that, they drop it out. Whew, man. The run stats are deceiving because we broke a long one in garbage time. True. Very true. There's a lot of garbage stats going in. Jermaine says, did you run? Okay, did you see? Did I see what you talking about? Aaron Rodgers? What Aaron Rodgers said about Kelsey? No, I did not. Was it something about Taylor Swift? Jermaine, did you? Hopefully, coach will run a 2 tight end set and protect Tua to give him time. If you run a 2 tight end set, then that's going to make it even easier for the guys to shut down Tyreek and Waddle, unless you run the ball. I mean, I think the remedy is run first, pass second. I know you got Tyreek out there who wants 2,000 yards this year, but I think you got to run first and pass second. So as we're getting late here, I have another. We were talking about Stephen A's ranking. Check out this ranking in this video here. I want you guys to see this.
During week 4, the Dolphins were the big favorites to win the AFC, as I mentioned, a 45% chance to make it to the Super Bowl according to ESPN Analytics, but the Bills flipped the script with their win. They're now 40% favorites, up from 17% entering.
Like I said, you're going to see the media completely change, which may be to the Dolphins' benefit. It might be good for people to just back off with looking at the Dolphins and praising them and being on every media show, because right now, it completely flipped. This stat blew me away. Last week, the Bills only had a 17% chance to make be the AFC champs. And last week, the Dolphins had a 45% chance to be the AFC champs. This week, not so much. A lot of people saw a 30-point beatdown by the Buffalo Bills, and they all at the same time looked and went, oh, this team beat up on cupcakes and got stomped when they played a good team. I'm not the only one who saw it. I'm glad somebody else saw it. I'm not happy about it, but I got to put this on Mike McDaniel at this point. You got to do something, because at this point, they think they have your number. These kind of flips in terms of analytics and what they're seeing is they're seeing, oh, so once you played somebody who could actually defend themselves, you couldn't work. It didn't work. You scored 70 points basically on a college team. Denver Broncos stunk. And then I don't know if they keep the stat of the biggest turnaround in 1 week. You won 70-20, and then you got beat 48-20. That's a huge flip in 7 days. So let's continue.
The week, Miami and KC about equal as you see there. The Ravens took a big step forward with their win over Cleveland to be the 4th favorite. That AFC is tough any way that you look at it.
Yeah, so that's the media. That's the media looking at what they saw, taking analytics, putting it into an algorithm, spitting it out and go, hey, Dolphins got exposed. They got completely exposed. And so is it all doom and gloom? Of course not. I don't want you to take away from that Barry's just telling us all doom. No. I'm enthused. I know that for the most part, the Dolphins are going to win their next 2 games and be 5-1 going into Philadelphia. These next two weeks, I'm saying they should absolutely annihilate these next 2 teams. I think everybody should eat. I think it should be fantastic. I think Tua will throw for 400 yards per game, and everyone will be happy going into Philadelphia. My concern is, and I know it's 3 weeks away, is, hey, Mike, what are you going to do against the Philadelphia Eagles? What are you going to do about Tua playing the Philadelphia Eagles? Yeah, he's going to destroy the New York Giants. It won't be pretty. They're both home games. Both the Giants and the Panthers are home games at the Hard Rock. The stadium will be rocking. Everyone will be happy. You're going to score 45, maybe 50 points against the Giants. You're going to get all kinds of sacks. It's going to be fantastic. People are going to be on cloud 9. Then you're going to do it again against the Carolina Panthers, and people are going to be sky high. And then you got the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm not doom and gloom at all. This team is probably going to be 5-1 after the first 6 games of the season, which is fantastic. They're still going to be in the hunt for the AFC East. Nothing much is going to change there until we see what happens with the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's funny. After how bad did things flip in the last week? Remember, last week people were saying that Tua was in the MVP conversation. How fast did that change? Well, let me show you.
Who are your elite quarterbacks? Name the elite quarterbacks.
Elite?
Yes. You would consider elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
So in case you guys are wondering, this is NFL analyst Rich Eisen, and this is Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy, 3 or 4 time All-Pro, 6 times Pro Bowl, defensive tackle. So he's got some cred. And listen what he says here.
Is Tua elite in your mind?
Not yet.
Why?
Because in order for me to consider you elite, I got to see it more than once, and we've seen it for 3 games.
Not even last year before he got hurt?
No.
It's not enough?
No, in order to be elite, you have to have a full season, and then I have to see it twice, 2 full seasons.
And that's what's about to happen. Fans may not like it, but you're going to hear more people begin saying that. And it's on Tua and Mike McDaniel to come up with a different kind of offense so that Tua can get back into, I'm not saying he has to get back in a good grace of the media. Doesn't really matter with the media, but he's got to show people that he can do something beyond that first and second read. Earlier in the year, we were like, we don't want Tua extending plays. We don't want him to get in a position where he's going to possibly get hurt. Now his athleticism is going to have to come into play for the Miami Dolphins to advance deep into the playoffs. They got the offense number right now. They know what the offense is doing. Again, it's going to be ugly against the Panthers. It's going to be ugly against the Giants. But I'm looking down the road to the teams that matter. The teams that matter. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bills again, the Jets twice, the teams that matter. The teams that are going to have defenses out there on the field that are going to be looking to shut down Miami and have the personnel to do it as well. Giants don't. Panthers don't. We're going to have fun next week. We're going to be broadcasting live. Hopefully you guys will be with me. You guys, Sunday at 1 o'clock, I go live, 12:45. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to give away some gifts and have some fun. And we're going to watch the Miami Dolphins beat the crap out of the New York Giants. I fully believe that. So no, it's not doom and gloom. I just want you to look ahead. I just want you guys to focus on what's ahead. If you have time, go ahead and look at the roster of the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at that offensive line and understand that Vic Fangio can't play the way he played against the Buffalo Bills. Cannot do it. You will not survive playing the Philadelphia Eagles the way you played against the Buffalo Bills. We'll be back here on the Tuesday after the Eagles game going, oh God. That was horrible. That was freaking horrible. I can't believe Vic Fangio did that. So everyone, take a deep breath. Yeah, the beatdown was bad, but you know what? Next 2 weeks, we're all going to forget about it. Well, some of us will. And there won't be any people beating up inanimate objects. There won't be anybody swearing and cursing through their phone in a video. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lots of fun these next 2 weeks. Mark my words. But then Philadelphia is coming to town. So I'm a little bit over here, and I'll take a couple more comments. It's ridiculous how It's ridiculous how simple the solution is. Use a run to open the pass when the defensive scheme is clearly scheming to stop the pass. Why didn't he? That's the thing. I don't understand why he didn't. I don't have the schedule handy. Do we have more games to play, or was this a 4-game season? No, I know you're facetious. I know there's 17 games in a regular season. I just told you the next 2 games are going to be fantastic to watch, and the Miami Dolphins will be victorious more than likely against the New York Giants and the Carolina Panthers. Probably everything will be back to normal. We'll score 40, 50 points. Going to stomp these 2 teams. I'm being completely honest and upbeat. So I don't, not saying that there aren't more games, but understand it's not just one game. I saw that comment over and over on Twitter. It's just one game. If that's the fact, then why wasn't Denver just one game? Why did everybody think it was so fantastic? It was just one game, right? No, these things all come together. And you have to understand how defensive coordinators look at it. They don't look at it from the perspective of a fan. They don't sit back and go, it's just one game. No. Tendencies. They look at progressions. They look at what's happening. Start looking at things, if you want, as if you were a defensive coordinator and what you would do to stop this team. And then from an offensive coordinator, what would you do to combat what the defenses are throwing at you? It's not just one game. It's all part of the season. More than likely, the Dolphins are probably going to win 12 games or so. I would think that. At least, I would say 11, 12 games is safe to say that they'll win overall. But then if you're not ready to play playoff football, which is a lot different than playing the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants, where every single game that you're going to play in the playoffs is against a team that's ready to play, that has a squad and personnel to stop you, that's what I'm looking at. I'm sorry, I don't care about Denver, don't care about the Patriots, don't care about any of those kind of teams. I want to see how this team does against playoff quality teams. And so far, we only have one game that can show us that, and it was a stomp. So, yeah, I know a lot of people go, I have faith, I have belief. I look at what I saw. And a lot of you guys were here Sunday. I hope some of you come back this Sunday and check it out as well. Thank you for showing up. Do me a favor.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
I forgot to play it earlier. But talk to you guys Sunday. And stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to debut Trav Murray's new song. Thanks for coming in on Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday before that. And go ahead and